Hey, Bobby Manning here, Noah Dalzell alongside from Madison Square Garden in New York, and the Celtics just swept the season series over the Knicks. The season series was pretty anticipated coming into this year. Some of the off-season moves that the Knicks made, and Towns addition, and just all this intrigue, Bridges being that wing stopper for them. And aside from this game, and this was the most competitive we've seen, an overtime thriller, a Jason Tatum game tying 3 down the stretch. This series has been mostly uncompetitive this year, and it ends in a sweep. Celtics players after the game, Joe Mazzulla as well, saying it doesn't mean anything that they swept New York, but these two teams on a bit of a collision course, the 2 seed in Boston, the inevitable 3 seed in New York. They'll meet round 2 if they do move on in the playoffs. And from what we've seen so far, it doesn't look like the Knicks have much of a chance.
I mean, tonight they showed you a pathway, right? Because they were competitive and they could have won this game if Tatum doesn't hit that 3 or a couple things go differently down the stretch. But certainly I think of all the teams that they faced 4 times this season, this is one you have a lot of confidence against. And I don't think they're just saying that to say that. Like when Derek White says it means nothing, when Joe Mazzulla says it means nothing. Obviously, you don't want to, that's the right thing to say from a media standpoint. But I also think it's how they feel. I don't think that they're going to go into a playoff series thinking, well, we beat them in the regular season, so we're in good shape here, right? There's a lot of talent on this side. They're a hard-playing team. They just haven't come together, I guess, or clicked in the way that I envisioned when they
have
assembled.
Against everybody except the Celtics and Cavs. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's important here. But I think the big thing is that over the summer you were thinking about, this team they got the forwards and they're going to stop Jason and Jalen. And Jason looks pretty comfortable against this team. And that's the thing that's going to be most important down the stretch here. And so, again, I do think it doesn't really mean anything when you really think about it, because you know that everything's going to go different in the playoffs. The Knicks win the first game at TD Garden. Nobody cares about the 4-0 season sweep. But of all the teams they're going to face here, I think the Cavs, the Thunder, you saw real problems in those matchups, especially Oklahoma City. You don't really see that here.
And I'm someone who's always looking at, all right, where could things go wrong? Where could the Knicks exploit the Celtics here? And I just keep looking at this and saying, Towns out of this world in this game. Celtics still limit him to 3 3-point attempts, and they win a game where he goes off and plays at his best. The 3-point difference between these teams, the amount they take, is just a massive advantage in Boston's favor here, and the depth. The Knicks are playing these guys 40, 45 minutes just to get by, and you can tap into a Pritchard when you're down Brown, as the Celtics were late in this game. You can tap into a Hauser, and Cornette gives you the flexibility here. Celtics win this one without Horford. So even though the Knicks were more competitive in this game, even though they showed a pathway, and Mitchell Robinson's return certainly helped too, I liked his minutes here, you're still looking at this if you're Boston, and even if you're New York a little bit here, and saying, oof, Jalen could play more in a playoff setting. Al will be back. We got what we wanted to out of Brunson and Towns and others here, and we still lost. And we had a 3-point lead with 1 play to go, and then we didn't foul. And Tatum hits a step-back 3, needing 3, and got so much separation from OG there. If I'm a Knicks fan today, I'm just devastated.
I wouldn't say devastated, but yeah, I think you're feeling a little bit deflated about this team's odds. And honestly, I feel like if there's somebody that overrates Al Horford, it might be me. I do think that the way he can impact this team still to this day
they
and
needed
next
him
year
against Towns tonight.
But I was thinking a lot tonight. They actually really miss Al, and that's no excuse to why Towns has such a big game, because they have more than enough without Al. But that's another weapon that I don't think is just as small as Knicks fans might realize. If I'm a Knicks fan, I'm not thinking about Al Horford's absence as a big factor tonight. But there were moments in time where he was kind of getting the best out of Tatum. He was getting the best out of different guys they were throwing at him. And I was I feel like a playoff Al would lock in right now. And so, yeah, again, it doesn't matter what we say, we have no impact on it, but I'm thinking ahead to the conference finals, and maybe that will bite me, but you do feel pretty good about these first 2 rounds, and you have to respect this Knicks team. You have to respect the fact that they have a lot of talented players, 2 All-NBA guys in Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, that Jalen especially, scary player, can step up in big moments, hit big shots. I think he'll have some marquee moments in this postseason run regardless of what happens. It's just a question of how do you kind of balance everything else.
On the flip side, Knicks did defend better here. Joe Mazzulla after the game said he felt like the Celtics offense needed improvement out of this one. They hit some ridiculous shots, including Kristaps Porzingis' fading away 3-point bomb in overtime that won the game effectively late here. And that's probably something that the Knicks can take away here, is that they're a little more defensively versatile now with that full group intact. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see if they even play the Knicks in round 2. I think that's a real question. I know Shaq was saying that tonight, and I actually agree with him that Detroit, Milwaukee is still in mix to be the 6th seed and play the Knicks round 1. Do you think we'll actually end up seeing this series, given what Detroit's done and given what Milwaukee is with Giannis Antetokounmpo in there?
Yeah, I think right now that's where it's headed, but I wouldn't put like money on it. I would think that they could go in a bunch of different directions here. But right now, I still think New York has an advantage over that Detroit Pistons team. They're going to give them a hard out. I think it's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not a sweep. But I sense it. I feel like we deserved it last year. We deserved the Knicks Celtics series, and everything went wrong for the Knicks on the injury front, and we saw the Pacers instead, and it was a great series. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it feels like these two teams have been good enough for long enough now where they need to collide in the Eastern Conference. The game needs it, and it just feels kind of inevitable with the way the standings have shaken out.
Well, Celtics sweep the season series. That's it for us here in New York. Noah will have coverage in Orlando tomorrow for Celtics Magic. We'll see who actually plays in that game. And then we'll see you back in Boston for the final 2 regular season games before the Celtics head on to the playoffs. For Noah Dalzell, I'm Bobby Manning. Subscribe, Celtics All Access, CLNS Media.
CLNS Celtics coverage is powered by PrizePicks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup.